Oh, dude, this year straight up sucks. What's up, everybody, and back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing another Godzilla Vs Kong news and updates. I've not wanted to make a Godzilla Vs Kong news and updates lately. I don't want to keep wearing this topic out, but this news warrants discussion, and so we're going to be discussing it. Unlike usual, this video is just going to be about the main topic, so let's jump into this show. Alright, starting out, I'd just like to mention that Godzilla Vs Kong was supposed to release on November 20th of this year, so 5 days ago from when I'm recording this. I have no idea when this gets posted, but 5 days ago we were all supposed to have seen the movie, and thank God we didn't. It would have died given coronavirus, even without COVID. I just wouldn't have had time to cover all this stuff leading up to this movie. I would have just not been able to cope with all that stress. Got way too much school stuff to worry about. Let's move on to the topic, okay? Yeah, Godzilla vs. Kong is facing some bad news at the moment. This is being reported to us by The Hollywood Reporter. There has yet to be a good way to release a movie. That's true. Because of COVID, there just isn't a good way. PVOD has not been successful since Trolls 2. That was like right at the start of quarantine. That's the only movie that's been successful, and that movie only had a successful opening. We don't even know that the movie itself was successful. We just know that opening day and weekend was successful. That's it. Mulan completely failed on Disney Premium Access because it was way overpriced and it was just a big mess. It seemingly didn't make back its money, and it's gone down as a failure. Tenet underperformed at the box office, proving that there is no way to release movies in theaters only, no way to release big blockbuster movies. Even Bill and Ted, which had a simultaneous release in theaters and on streaming, didn't really do as well as it should have, which has proven that at this point, you can't release a movie on PVOD only, you can't release a movie on Premium Access, you can't release a movie in theaters, and you don't even get that much reward when you release it both in theaters and on Premium Access or PVOD or whatever. There just isn't a good way to release a movie, and yet they're still doing it. Warner Bros. Is still sacrificing their films like they're Thanos trying to get the Soul Stone. I get it from a conceptual standpoint. Wonder Woman 2, okay, this is the big news. Wonder Woman 2 has been moved to HBO Max, sort of. It's having a dual release, so for 30 days when the movie very first comes out, it will have a simultaneous release on HBO Max and in theaters. The big thing here is that they're saying this is going to be the first time you don't have to pay extra to watch the movie. Well, also, there's not going to really be a ton of opportunity to make money on the film itself. They're going to need to get a huge boost of subscribers to show that people are coming to watch Wonder Woman, and then we don't know how they monetize their streaming services, so we don't know how they're going to make money on Wonder Woman itself. So I don't really understand the technical aspects of how they think this one's going to work out. I understand why they needed to do it. Wonder Woman has been delayed something like 7 times. It's an absurd amount of times it's been delayed. This movie has been delayed since like 2018 or something. It's been a long time coming that this movie comes out. So yeah, it needed to come out. It's had 2 full advertising campaigns, and now it needs to come out. So they're gonna do this. I understand why they're doing it from a conceptual standpoint. I don't think it's gonna pay off as well as they're hoping, but I do hope it pays off for them just because I like Wonder Woman, and so I hope the movie does okay. But I think it's gonna be the best move that they could do outside of delaying a bunch of other movies. That's what I think. So if you don't want to delay, if delaying's off the table, this is the best way to go. So as I said, it's going to be a simultaneous release for 30 days, except if you don't live in America, you don't get the HBO Max option. That's only for Americans. The rest of you have to go to theaters if there are any open. Theaters here in America are closing back down, so it's a streaming movie. There's no way to watch it in theaters at the moment. But I guess internationally, if your theaters are open, you can go check it out in theaters. So it'll have a normal theatrical run outside of the 30-day HBO Max window. I don't know how much damage that 30-day window is going to do to Wonder Woman, but we'll have to wait and see. And so this has opened the door to other Warner Bros. Big blockbuster movies moving to streaming, and other big blockbuster movies in general. I think Disney is planning on doing stuff as well. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. They're definitely putting Soul on streaming, but I don't know what else is being put on streaming. We will have to wait and see what happens to Wonder Woman. Any news about Godzilla vs. Kong is irrelevant. I'm telling you right here, right now, it's irrelevant. The headline doesn't matter until we see what happens to Wonder Woman after 30 days. If the movie is successful on both streaming and theatrically, or overall, I guess if one aspect is more successful than the other, either way, if the movie's a success with its current release plan, then we can absolutely expect to see more big blockbuster movies follow in the footsteps. However, if the movie isn't successful, I guarantee Warner Bros. Does not try it again. I guarantee they don't put Godzilla vs. Kong on HBO Max if Wonder Woman fails, because Wonder Woman has way more hype than Godzilla vs. Kong. It would do better at the box office if the two were to come out just completely on their own in a vacuum. Wonder Woman would do better, and Warner Bros. Knows that. So if Wonder Woman doesn't do great here, there's no way they're going to risk Godzilla vs. Kong like that. No way. So here's the Godzilla vs. Kong headlines, and this is being reported to us by The Hollywood Reporter. Netflix apparently has moved in and offered $200 million for Godzilla vs. Kong. And so that's got a lot of people like, yeah, they should take that deal. I've seen a lot of people saying they should take the deal. They can't take the deal. I would assume Godzilla vs. Kong's budget is somewhere around $200 million. So they'd be breaking even if they take this deal. I don't think they necessarily want to break even on the movie. I will say they don't have any marketing costs right now. They've done no advertising, so it'd be like getting away for free. You know, you don't have to worry about the additional marketing costs as most movies do if you sell to Netflix. But I don't think they're going to want to go that route, because then they're just breaking even. They're not really pulling a profit, and I don't know how the studio makes money off a Netflix movie. So that's just something that I don't know. Maybe they could make more money off the Netflix release, but I think Netflix just gets to keep most of that money. I don't even know how Netflix makes money off individual releases in general. I just know it's subscription based. So that's currently the plan, right? Is Netflix pitched, hey, we'll give you $200 million, just give us the movie. And that would put Godzilla right alongside the other Netflix Godzilla movie. So he'd go right up there with the anime films and the new anime series coming out next year. So hey, he'd at least be surrounded by good company. But it doesn't really make sense when you consider the fact that there are no other MonsterVerse movies on Netflix, and Warner Bros. Definitely knows this, because they flat out rejected the offer, and instead they're prepping for an HBO Max release. So that's currently what's going on. They need to get Legendary to approve this deal, it sounds like, so they're not moving forward with it right away. They're making a plan to offer some sort of pitch to Legendary coming up here soon. But it is stated in the article that Warner Bros. Outright blocked the deal with Netflix. Legendary declined to comment on the situation, not saying anything one way or another, but a Warner Bros. Spokesperson did come out and say something that completely goes against everything the article has said so far. Dude just straight up said, here's the quote, "We plan to release Godzilla vs. Kong theatrically next year as scheduled." There's Warner Bros. Plans. I guess this whole HBO Max thing is just like a backup plan, but okay, let's take it as a backup plan and talk about that, because the idea is that they're not going to go with this, but if they do, they're obviously not going to want to take the Netflix deal, because they're going to break even. They're not going to make any profit on that. Plus, they're going to want to put Godzilla vs. Kong with the other Godzilla movies and the other MonsterVerse movies. So, of course, they're going to want to keep it in-home, and they just launched their streaming service, so they're going to want to keep it on their streaming service, which isn't doing great. It needs help, and so Godzilla vs. Kong will help it. So there's a lot of factors on why they wouldn't take the Netflix deal. But okay, we'll get back to the theatrical option here at the end of the video, and instead we'll talk about the idea of moving it to HBO Max for now. Legendary, it has been reported, paid for 75% of Godzilla vs. Kong, and it is also said that Legendary is banking on the Chinese release for the film and doesn't want to do anything to interfere with that. I don't know if HBO Max would necessarily interfere with that, because HBO Max I don't think is available in China, so China would still have to be a theatrical release. But I guess the idea is if you put it on HBO Max, there's going to be increased number of piracy, and if there's more pirates out there stealing the movie, then there's going to be less people in China going to see the movie, so why would you risk that? That's why Wonder Woman, if you're wondering, opens internationally before it opens in America, so that us in the US, we don't get to see it right away. We have to wait like a week or two or something before we get it, because of the HBO Max deal. They don't want all the piracy running rampant internationally, and so they're putting the movie out before they put it out in America for other countries. So I guess we could look at a similar situation happening with Godzilla vs. Kong if Wonder Woman is successful. Again, we have no way of knowing if it will be. But either way, that's the situation with Legendary. Warner Bros. Has 25% stake in Godzilla vs. Kong. However, they do control distribution, so at the end of the day, they are the ones calling the shots. I think they probably both have to agree, but it's Warner Bros. Who really is pushing things going on for distribution. Warner Bros. Is in charge of that. That's why Warner Bros. Is the ones responsible for the trailers as well. Warner is currently looking into a deal to do a dual release in both theaters and on HBO Max. So a similar situation with Wonder Woman. Now, Grimorial Island has come out and tried to put a positive spin on this news, and I do commend them for the idea, right? I commend them for the idea that they are trying to keep people calm, because of course people in the community love to panic, and so they're trying to keep people calm. I'm just telling you straight up, if Godzilla vs. vs Kong goes to streaming only, it will die. That's the end of the MonsterVerse. Right there. That is the moment where they signed their fate. I don't know about a theatrical release as well. I don't know how the dual release will work. Gomuru may have a point. That may be the way to go. That may be the best course of action, but no one will know until Wonder Woman comes out, which is why I said at the top, nothing that's happening right now really matters because we have to wait to see how Wonder Woman does. I would like to also point out that Grace Randolph, who I've taken on, I trust her at this point. I know that we've had a rocky relationship with her awful pronunciation of kaiju words and her misunderstandings of the franchise, but she knows what she's talking about when it comes to the industry, and she also has insiders at Warner's. She knows how the industry works, and so she is reliable in that aspect, and she calls this a kaiju-sized mistake, pointing out that there has been a lack of advertising for Godzilla vs Kong, so there's ease to move the film if needed, and they've lost no additional money on it. It cost them no money to put that banner out. We do that for them. We circulate that banner for them. So they're not losing any money at the moment. They haven't lost anything yet, so they don't need to put the movie out. There's no big pressure on it. It's not like they've run out of their advertising campaigns twice like Wonder Woman did. There's no need to put the movie out. Plus, it's only been delayed twice, whereas Wonder Woman was delayed a ton. Point is, there's just no pressure to put the film out at the moment. Fans are impatient, but in the grand scheme of things, there's no pressure here. She also notes that kaiju movies are must-sees on IMAX, and I absolutely agree. IMAX was a big part of Godzilla King of the Monsters. A lot of people went to see that movie in IMAX. IMAX didn't account for the biggest part of the box office, but it did help the box office as much as it could, and that's something that we do need to rely on as well, as that help from IMAX. And also, for the fans, we need to see it in IMAX. Are you kidding me? I don't want to watch this on a TV. The biggest TV I own is not an IMAX screen. That's insane. The sound system's totally different. There's no way you're gonna get as thrilling or as satisfying of an experience watching this movie at home. And think about it like this, guys. We've been waiting for this movie since Godzilla 2014 came out, since we heard rumors that Kong was gonna be getting moved to Legendary, and that Legendary and Warner Bros. Was gonna do this King Kong movie. Since 2014 or 15, we have been eagerly waiting for Godzilla vs Kong, and now you're telling me you're okay just getting it in the lamest form possible? How is that satisfying? How is that a satisfying payoff? What was the point of this whole wait? When the movie got delayed from November till next year in May, what was the point of the wait? If they're just gonna release it online anyways for streaming, how is that satisfying for us to wait through? Then it becomes infuriating that it got delayed, because if they're just gonna put it out on streaming, they might as well have done that from the start. Either way, the point is that we don't really know how a dual release will work, how a theatrical plus HBO Max release will work. We have no way of knowing how that will work until after Christmas, so we have to wait until Wonder Woman comes out. And when that does happen, we can see if this is a financially viable way to release a movie, if it is a financially viable way to release a big blockbuster, and then we can move forward from there. But at the end of the day, Warner Bros. Still plans on releasing the movie theatrically, period. That's what they said in the interview, so that's what we're looking at, is a theatrical release for the movie. At the very least, they will have a theatrical component, so people like me and you can go see it in theaters if we want, and the rest of the people who are too impatient, or if the virus is still around next year, who are just being smart and don't want to get sick, then they can stay at home. But the movie is 6 months out, and there is word of multiple vaccines that are being said to be efficient, that are in the works, so the potential for Godzilla vs Kong to come out in a post-COVID world is very high. Maybe the coronavirus won't be gone, right? But at the very least, a vaccine will be, hopefully, if you're willing to believe politicians, available. I don't know. I think the world will look a little different 6 months from now than it does right now. At least that's the hope, right? Please. But I'm hopeful that the world will look different and will look better come May 2021. And so I'm hopeful that the movie will come out in May 2021 in theaters just fine. With all that being said, I'm going to leave you with this little bit of information, because I do think that this news sucks, but I don't think it's as horrible as people make it, and there's also some silver lining. So the silver lining here is that if Godzilla vs Kong is being considered for HBO Max, and it sounds like they're sticking to their guns with this May 21st release date, so we are either getting it in theaters on that day, or we're getting a dual release, or it'll just go on, PVOD or whatever, or HBO Max. If that happens, that means that advertising should start next month. That's right. It's entirely possible that we will get a Godzilla vs Kong trailer next month, given the fact that if the movie comes out in May, regardless of how it comes out, if they're sticking to their guns here with the May release date, we're gonna need advertising soon. It's typically a 6-month, 5-month advertising period, which means May might be the date. That's right, baby. The Godzilla vs Kong trailer that we have all been waiting for might be just around the corner, finally. Thank you guys all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man, out. What? You never watched my 66 years of Godzilla tribute? It's posted, right? I'm not supposed to give my opinion, but go check it out. And then you can tell me if you like it or not.